Welcome to BW Workshop, and on this week's edition, all I gotta do now is clean the glass. You might remember a couple months ago, if you're one of the 100 or 200 people that might have watched the video, a couple months ago I asked, is a job, the video was titled, is a job too big for one handyman or one guy? And the way this evolution happened was, in December I got a call, went and looked at the house, and the kitchen floor had sunk about 1.5 inches. So this job started out as fixing the kitchen floor, and then it moved on to, well, the dining room's right there next to it, let's do that. And then a few months roll down the line, I go do another job, I get done with it, I get a call back, and he's like, okay, well, we want to do the whole downstairs now. And when I started the job, I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the downstairs. And that was 1,200 square foot downstairs. We're going to do upstairs sometime later. And in my mind, I thought, well, it's, we're going to do downstairs, and then maybe a few months or a year, do the upstairs. And then as we did the demo downstairs and discovered gallons and gallons of water getting underneath the house and through the foundation, we worked on that. And then the next thing I know, well, we're going to do the upstairs. So I talked to a homeowner, and we work out a deal, and we start doing the upstairs. And now he's like, well, we got this part over the garage, we want to add a couple rooms and a closet, a bathroom, a closet, and another room. And at this point, now it's becoming really obvious that this job is getting big. So now it's switched over to labor only. And instead of me going to get the materials I need, the homeowner wants to buy all the materials all at once from Lowe's. And now we're talking a big old planning project. And it's not the way I operate normally. First of all, I don't normally do these big jobs. I usually do a pretty set, straightforward, something I can do in a week or two. Pretty much the biggest job. Secondly, it was so much demo. We spent 2 weeks demoing downstairs, and then we did the upstairs. And, it was hot, it was uncomfortable. It was dusty, it was dirty, all the insulation falling down out of there. But we made it through in about 10 days. We got it done, 3 of us. And so now we're at the point where, well, we really need to get the permits required to build on. And everything was going good, and now that the customer is out of town, and we're dealing with text messages, The money has stopped. And at this point, I refigured the bid for material only, or for labor only, and then without the material. And through my discrepancy, I noticed that at this point, with the draws I've taken, I'm still short about $1,700. And this job has gotten out of hand. It's gotten big enough to where I can't do it by myself. And so when you start paying people $300 to $500 a week, two guys, the money doesn't last very long, and I don't think the homeowner understands that the money's gone. I did my part. That's where we're at. We're on hold, and I have a few communications over the last week and a half with the homeowner. They're not in town anymore. They have moved. And I, last week, went and got all the remaining tools out of the house. Mostly because I needed to reorganize and figure out where everything was. Secondly, I don't know if we're going to continue this job anymore. And I need to go ahead and start something else. I've got a couple jobs in the works. I've done, put the bid in. And several other jobs that are kind of waiting, and another job that's just a little 1 week job. And I could probably do it by myself, but I'm not willing to. I kind of like having a little bit of help, an extra hand or two. But the question was, when does a job get too big? Well, if your customer's changing things a week in, and now he wants to go bigger, at first you're like, well, yeah, let's go bigger. It's going to be more money. And then the next thing you know, they want to complicate it, because trying to buy all the materials all at once, first of all, is where you're going to stack it all. Second of all, who's going to watch it overnight so people don't pilfer it? Third of all, we have a lumber yard right here in town. I can run by and get the lumber as needed. It's still going to be about the same price. In some cases, I find the lumber yard here in town is actually cheaper than running 15 miles away to a Lowe's. And you don't have to handle it so much. You don't have to load it on the cart. You just drive right into the indoor lumber yard and load it on your truck and go from there. So at this point, we have reached the point of, do I continue this job? Well, I think the answer lies in the fact that the money stopped, so I can't continue. Do I go get the permits? Well, I don't think, if he's not willing to pay for my time that I spent doing the drawings and everything, then I guess I'm not doing it. And I'm just going to call and count my losses while they're still relatively small. We're lopsided about $1,200 right now. Not in my favor. And I am just sitting here in between jobs now. It's going to be 100 degrees today. It was 100 degrees yesterday. And all I really want to do is just whatever I want to do. I really don't feel like doing anything for anybody right now, except for I need to make money. And all I really want to do is make these windows I've been making. As you can see back there, that's part of a window that we had. We acquired 14 of these stained glass windows from a church. That is just the one section that opened. The windows were in thirds, that size. 2 foot, roughly 2 foot by 4 foot. And we sold 9 of them. We've had them for 2 years in the backyard. And I was like, well, let's do something with them. Some of them were broken. Some of the glass was broken. So we took the 9 best and we put them up for sale. And we sold them to a couple. They drove down here, picked them up. And just about about 3 weeks ago, they finished their project with the windows they were going to use, and I'll put a picture of it right here. It turned out really nice. And then the other thing I've been doing is, well, I hate to just throw these broken pieces away. So I have about 5 of these that I took apart and cut down to different sizes. I've got these little sections right here. Obviously the bigger one was broken. And I've got cut it out. You can kind of see, might have went something like that. I'm not sure where it went to. Obviously these didn't go together, but it makes a nice, nice change. So I've got these little pieces, different sizes, and you've seen in the video already the frames. I'm just framing them up for window hangers. I'm going to put them up for sale when I get enough of them built, get them all built, and put them up for sale, let people have their choice of what they like best instead of just trying to sell one at a time. I've got about 5 of these. They're still in the aluminum frame. Trying to decide whether to keep them in the frame, use them for cabinet doors or something to that effect. I think the best effect is just for people to have them as decor in their windows. So that's what I'm working on this week. I'm not really worried about anybody else's projects. I do have one little job to go put a kitchen sink in an apartment complex that I work at. And just take this hot week and kind of lay low. Sometimes you have downtime and you just got to use it for you. And when you don't have the downtime, you just let everything fall to the side and hopefully you can catch up later.